Federal law says that debt collectors must comply with the law when asked. Hello, I'm your host, Foresight, and this is Blind Intelligence, where rules, rights, and responsibilities put you back in control. Now, when the collector, according to federal law, when the collector is asked to validate a debt under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, that is 15 USC 1692G. You can pull it up on your phone and read that information. They have to validate it when the consumer requests, at the consumer's request. So, what does that really mean? Read the information. But I'm gonna tell you for a minute. What it really means in a nutshell, that all correspondence, communication must cease. All of it. They can't contact you until they validate the debt. They got to verify it with the creditor, and that's not just it, because a lot of them are slick. They'll send 3 or 4 different agents send you letters, phone calls. They call your phone, call your job, right? But you have to send them a cease and desist letter. Tell you why. Because what that does, and if you do it properly, you got them dead in the rights. There's no way out of this. There's no way out of this, because they have no rights, and they have to abide by the law. Now, if you send them a certified letter with a return receipt, you get the 3811 card, the green card in the mail. What happens is that that's your proof, because it has a unique number on it, and that's your proof that they got it, because they're going to sign for it. So after that, you receive the letter, you receive the green card and they receive the letter. If they contact you in any way, record the call. Don't mess around with them, because they're not playing with you. They're trying to extrapolate money out of you. So record the call. I'm gonna let y'all know in advance. This is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. If you would like legal advice and financial advice, I suggest you find yourself a competent counsel or professional, financial professional, and please, by all means, be advised. This right here is for informational and educational purposes only. And the views and opinions is mine only, and it does not reflect the views and opinions of any platform that hosts Blind Intelligence. So, and if my phone goes off, that's because it has a talking feature on it. So please don't mind my phone. But now, back to what I was saying about the debt collector. They have to, when you request for them to validate that debt, they have to cease all calls, all correspondence. I don't care if it's in the mail, whatever, the email, whatever, text message, I don't care what it is. They have to cease. Cease and desist. Send them a cease and desist letter. Because once you do that, then that puts you in control, right? This is where we want to be. We want to be in control. So, you might be viewing this video from New York, from Pennsylvania, from Chicago, from Detroit, from California, from Atlanta. I'm gonna say about Atlanta's not so much, but I'm speaking to the fast-paced cities that they don't think that the law applies to them. See, a lot of times, they get into these fast-paced cities like Connecticut, Boston, in that area. They get in these fast-paced cities and they don't think the law applies to them. Oh, but the law applies to everybody. And I don't care how fast they talk, how good they sound, they ain't nothing but lip professing. They ain't doing nothing but lip professing. So do me a favor. Erase the mess that they're saying, because it ain't nothing but noise. If they're not going by that consumer law under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and TILA, they can't even talk to you. I don't care how advanced the realtor is. I don't care what that realtor say. I don't care how advanced that banker is. I don't care what kind of experience that banker have, or whatever the case may be, because when it comes down to the law, they all must bow down, because they're all public servants. You got to remember that. They are serving you. You're not serving them. You're the consumer. They're the public servant. And they have to abide by these laws, because that's what protects the consumer. So don't think that the law don't apply to you, that you can't use these laws wherever you're reviewing this video. Whatever time and date you're looking at this video, or if it's in the daytime, nighttime, afternoon, whatever, it doesn't make a difference. You might get this later on down the line, maybe review this video maybe in 2030 or 2040. But it still all applies the same. The laws may change, but they still apply to you. You still can use them. So it doesn't make a difference on what time that you view this video. I'm just letting you know that the law applies to you. And you can't, and don't be afraid to learn how to use the law. See, knowing the law is good. You're supposed to know the law. But it doesn't make sense if you can't apply it. It's like, it's good to have knowledge, but if you can't apply it, what's the use in having it? So you can pass it off to somebody else can apply it. Well, that might be good because they can probably teach you how to apply it. But you have to apply what's being disseminated. Because if it benefits you in a positive way, sure, why not? Sure, why not? So, y'all, so just remember, what I'm saying? The collector has to answer, and they have to cease all calls, all communications until they validate this debt. And this is one of the most important issues that I see a lot of consumers have, because they don't know what type of standing that they have. And then they go into court, right? And they don't know what to say. They freezes up. They be docile as a lamb, quiet as a mouse. And they don't know what to say. the bailiff, all of them have all these so-called intimidating tactics that they use when they come to court, while they in the courtroom. But I'm telling you, you really have the control. Because if you got that law, the judge gonna bow down. Judge can. They always say it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And you go into court and you hit them with them laws. Once the facts are established, then you get to the law. You establish the facts. Now, we're not arguing. We're not arguing. We're not arguing facts. We're not arguing law. We're not doing none of that. What we're doing mainly is going in there and having standing. Where is your standing? Standing is stipulating what the facts are so the judge can get to the law. See, what you do is you stipulate the facts with law. Period. This is how you win. This is how you win. But you get in there, you're arguing with the opposing attorney. You're looking at the judge. You're telling the judge he oughta, he better, he need to, all that kind of stuff. He need to do his job, or you want to go in there and you want to, be all sophisticated with all this whack ass fancy jargon that you use that's not relevant, or you start talking some stuff that's not relevant, or then you start talking some personal stuff that's not relevant. That frustrates the judge. The judge already got cases. So, all you have to do is just go, when you go into court, well, it should never get to court, but if you go into court, the court just go on facts. What you write in that deposition, make a copy of it. You know what I'm saying? So you remember what you wrote. But you really don't have to remember what you wrote if the truth is there. Because if you're telling the truth, you don't have to have a good memory at all. You don't have to have a good memory if you're telling the truth. You don't have to. If these are the facts, why should you have a good memory? So just remember that. But remember that you have standing in court. But I want to get to this. I want to get to this other thing. It should never get to court. It should never get to court. Why? Because it only gets to court when you default. When you don't answer the summons, when the sheriff comes to your doorstep, put the summons in your hand. They put the summons in your hand, and you don't go to court. It's your fault. Blame nobody but you. You. Period. Point blank. No doubt. Because here's the deal: when the summons come and you don't answer, that means it's like a game. It's like playing baseball, basketball, football, or pickleball. When you don't show up, you forfeit. It's a forfeiture. See, you lose by default. But if you answer the summons, and go into court, you know what I'm saying? Now we cooking with grease. But you got to go in there. You got to have standing. You got to know where you are in this case. But see, the sheriff should never even get to your doorstep. The sheriff should not even come to your doorstep. I'm just going deeper and deeper into this, because the question is, why is the sheriff coming to your doorstep? What happened on the reason why a sheriff coming and placing a summons in your hand? See, that's the question, and you got to see. Here's the answer: because you failed to respond to the letters that debt collector wrote to you. They wrote you 5 or 6 different times. So they gave you a notice of default. So we're going to escalate this to the court system. But if you had been in communication with them through the mail, right? Send them a letter, certified mail, get a return receipt. Off the rip, as soon as they send you that letter, send it right back. Nah, cease and desist. I don't owe you nothing. Cease and desist. I don't know what you're talking about. You got the wrong person. Cease and desist. Or tell them, say, you have to validate this debt under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Until then, cease and desist. Simple as that. It's just as simple as that. Writing a letter. And get a certified mail with a return receipt. Don't be lazy. Do not be lazy on this. Get that thing certified mail. Don't get it registered. Registered is fine. But get it certified. That way you got proof that they got it. Because when they sign for it, they got it. It's over with. That means I don't give a ding dong what they do with it. They could throw it straight in the trash. But they signed for it. That's your proof. 3811 card. The 3811 card has a unique number on it. All of them do. They send you a unique number. Right? And that number, that's your proof that they got where it went to. And when they sign for it, you don't care what they do with it. You don't care. Who cares? I don't care. You care? No. No one cares. Only thing you care about is getting that 3811 card in the mail. Because that's your proof. Because your copy that you get, you're going to send the original and you're going to have a copy. And what you're going to do is you're going to staple that 3811 card and take it up, put it in the folder, put it somewhere safe. Put it somewhere safe. If you got a bookshelf, put it in your bookshelf. Put it somewhere where you know you ain't gonna touch it. Where you know when you skim over it, when you look at it, you be like, oh, I know what that is. Boom, boom. Reorganize your books. Reorganize. Be like, oh, I know what that is. You got a file. You got a file. File compartment, little small file compartment. Drop it in there. It's over with. The time for the games that's being played is over with. Don't mess around with these collectors. Because if you mess around with these collectors, I'm telling you, where they make their money at is you neglecting the fact that you did not do your due diligence in responding to them. That's why they win. See, they don't have rights. They don't have rights until you give it to them. You give them these rights. Why? Why are you forking over? Why are you giving them their right? Giving them rights that that belongs to you. So, but that's what's going on with these debt collectors. That is exactly what's going on, and you got to understand. I know people say, well, that's not easy for me because, I got this going on, I got that going on, I can't be doing this and doing that. If you can't take 15 minutes out of your day to write one paragraph and send it off, you're going to get what you're going to get. See, people have what they have because who they are. And that's what this is. You have what you have is because of who you are and what you're doing. This is the reason why you're going to get the results. If you do the same thing, you're going to get the same results. If you do something else, you're going to get another result. You do something else, you're going to get another result. Simple as that. So what kind of results you looking for? So, well, I prefer to hire someone to do it. Okay, cool. I have no problems with that. But my point is that you need to know. You need to know what your rights are. Because half the time, the people that we deal with, they ain't gonna tell you. Half will not. But I'm here to tell you. This is what your right. This is what you understand. This is why you have to understand what your rights are. And these laws right here protect you. Under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, these laws protect you. They don't protect them. And nobody, and it seems like that nobody, everybody that's working a 9 to 5, and people that's taking out these loans and personal loans, like you go into the Tower Loan or somewhere, One Main Financial or some place like that, and they're taking out these loans and not looking at the paperwork properly, like they should, you're bound for failure. Because those loan companies turn into debt collectors. They turn into debt collectors just like that. And the majority of their money that they get is from debt collection. Man, debt collection is $3 trillion with a T. They collect debt every day. And the reason why they collect the debt is because you fork over your rights, because you will not be responsible. You will not be responsible in reading that documentation line by line. I'm Foresight. And this is Blind Intelligence, where the rules, rights, and responsibilities put you back in control. Thanks for watching.